Hi, my name is Sarah, and I'm an event planner at the Orange County Library System. I plan author events and writing workshops. And since we're not able to have those at the library right now, I invited some of my writing and publishing friends to provide writing tips for you. This next one is from literary agent Megan Manzano.
Hi everyone, my name is Megan Manzano and I'm a literary agent at DeForio Literary. I also freelance edit and can be found at meg-edits.com. And you can also find me on Twitter where I talk way too much at Megan_Manzano. I'm going to be helping Sarah out here and giving a small talk on how to craft your opening pages of your novel and some key things you should include to make sure that you stand out and are doing a great job at establishing the hook for the reader. So the opening is super crucial in any novel, whether you're querying an agent in order to ideally get traditionally published, or you have a novel that you're self-publishing or indie publishing. Ideally, the opening pages are going to hook your reader and pull them into the story. So what do you need to include? One, you need to introduce your main character. We need to see who we're going to follow. We need to see what they're like. We need an investment into the opening pages. It's why you may often hear that prologues don't always work, because you can have prologues that start with a different character or in a different time period, and suddenly a reader has an investment in the prologue and the character that you put in the prologue, but then chapter one is an entirely different situation. And that can be very disconcerting for a reader and kind of throw them out of the world that you're trying to create. So that's why I always tend to say to start immediately with your main character. We want to learn about them. We want to see what their voice is like. We want to start to build that connection and get to know the person that we're ultimately going to follow the rest of the story with. My step number 2 is to show us your character's daily life. This is going to vary by novel, of course. So if your character goes to college, you might want to do a scene there, establish their routine and their friend group and what their goals are. If your character is an assassin, you might want to do a training scene. You might want to do some kind of mission that they're on. Ideally, what is their normal? And how is their normal affected by the world around them? This is a great way to start world building, especially in a fantasy or science fiction novel where the world is not as clear-cut as if you're writing a contemporary novel set in modern day. So what I see that gets really tricky in opening pages a lot is I'll see a ton of exposition or information about the world, the government, the society, and it gets very overwhelming to a reader. Instead, you want to use your main character. You want to use their thoughts and their feelings and their sensory information around them in order to build that world. The third thing you want to include in your opening pages is either a goal for your character to work through, or some kind of motivation for your character. So motivation is crucial in understanding any character and connecting to that character. In the opening, you're most likely not going to have your character saving the world or getting into a huge battle, because then a little too much and we haven't quite connected to that character yet. However, you want to have something very small to begin establishing that character for the reader. So my go-to example is The Hunger Games, which is one of the most popular novels, and it's brought up time and time again. But what we get from Katniss in the opening pages is her motivation always is her sister, more than anything else. And it's done very subtly in the opening pages and ultimately at the end of chapter 1 when she volunteers to save her sister from the Hunger Games. So that connection, sisterhood, a family of love, is how we begin to connect to Katniss as a character. And ultimately what you want to have in your opening pages so readers can connect to your character as well. Once you've done these 3 things, you've introduced your main character, you've shown us their daily life and begun to build the world, and you've given your character a goal or motivation so that we can further connect to them, you then want to build to your inciting incident. So the inciting incident is the moment of change for your narrator that will push them to the rest of the story. This is, once again, going to the Hunger Games. This is when Katniss volunteers for the games. The change in her story from just trying to survive now becomes trying to survive in this game. The inciting incident will vary by story. There is no concrete page that it's going to happen. In fantasy novels, it may take a little longer because we need more of the world. In contemporary novels, it might happen at the end of chapter 1. There is no concrete way to have it. However, you do want to have it fairly early. because if it happens too late in the novel, it could feel like it's taken too long to get there. We may be stuck in your character's world for too long, but it's absolutely crucial that we have all of these components in order to make strong opening pages.
Thank you for watching. To learn more about writing workshops and see more videos, visit OCLS.INFO/WRITERSCORNER. Orange County Library System is your place to learn, grow, connect.